Howdy everybody, David here, and this is another Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition class tutorials breakdown, and this particular tutorial deals with the monk archetype, the Way of Shadow. Now, the monk in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition is an in-your-face type of hand-to-hand melee class. Now, the monk has the most features of any class in D&D 5e, so their baseline class features are already strong. You've got your baseline proficiency bonus that is equivalent to every other class in D&D 5e. You've got several special mechanic features that the monk has, which are martial arts, which is unarmed damage or monk weapon damage. It'll scale to your level from 1d4 to 1d10. You have key points, which you expend different maneuvers or reactions that you would like to use, and you get 2 to 20 points at level 20. Your unarmored movement is a very, very strong feature. You'll be able to be a tactical master moving everywhere on the grid or everywhere if you're playing Theater of Mind. So take into consideration, any race is going to be good at a monk, but their main stat is dexterity. So you want to choose something dexterity based. But ultimately, it's really up to you guys and gals. You play the monk, you choose the class. So really any class is going to work, because no matter if you have a slower class like maybe a gnome or a dwarf, you're still going to get a lot of unarmored movement bonuses. So your movement is going to be crazy regardless. But just think about it. If you take like a wood elf that has a little bit more movement as a bonus, just think of that coupled with the monk. Really crazy. It's something to think about. Now, the features for the monk. You get everything from unarmored defense to deflect missiles, extra attacks, stunning strikes, all kinds of key attacks, stillness of mind. You can see the list goes on and on and on. But at level 2, you get to choose, at level 3, you get to choose a Monastic Tradition. And the Monastic Tradition is what this tutorial is about. And it is the Way of Shadow. Now, monks of the Way of Shadow follow a tradition that values stealth and subterfuge. These monks might be called ninjas or shadow dancers, and they serve as spies and assassins. Sometimes the members of a ninja monastery are family members, forming a clan sworn to secrecy about their arts and missions. Other monasteries are more like thieves' guilds, hiring out their services to nobles, rich merchants, or anyone else who can pay their fees. Regardless of their methods, the heads of these monasteries expect the unquestioning obedience of their students. So, basically, the Way of Shadow for the monk is it turns you more into a monk/rogue type of class without having to actually multi-class. Really nice. So at level 3, when you choose the Way of Shadow, you're going to get 4 more class features that are going to stack on top of the multitude of things that the baseline monk already gets. So, level 3, when you choose this Monastic Tradition, you will be able to use your key to duplicate the effects of certain spells. So, as an action, you can spend 2 of your key points to cast the spells Darkness, Dark Vision, Pass Without, and Silence. Now, if you cast these, you will not have to provide any kind of material components. So, all you'll have to fulfill are verbal and somatic. That's it. No material. Really nice. Now, there's also another perk that you get at level 3 with Shadow Arts, and that means you gain the Minor Illusion cantrip if you do not already know it. So, your spells are going to cast you 2 key points. But seeing that Minor Illusion is a cantrip, that is not going to cost you anything to cast, because it's a cantrip. So, there you go. That's Shadow Arts. Next up, you are going to get Shadow Step at level 6. And Shadow Step is where you gain the ability to step from one shadow into another. When you are in dim light or darkness, as a bonus action, as long as you have one, you can teleport up to 60 feet to an unoccupied space you can see that is also in the same dim light or darkness where you started from. So, as long as you can go to another place that is dim or dark, you can teleport. It only takes a bonus action, so make sure you save a bonus action because you only get 1 per turn. And if the requirements are met, dim light, darkness, you can port up to 60 feet as long as it's an unoccupied space. Really nice. So when you use Shadow Step, there's also another bonus here. You then have advantage on the first melee attack you make before the end of your turn. Before the end of the turn. Very nice. Straightforward, but I do want to clarify something. Now, if you're going to use Shadow Step and pour it in there, now Shadow Step's only going to give you that advantage on your first melee attack. So if you're using multiple attacks, or maybe spending a key as a bonus action, well, you won't be able to do that because you're going to use Shadow Step already as your bonus action, which you can use at any part of your turn. So if you use multi-attack, then only your first attack is going to have advantage. So if you attack a second time, then it will be normal. It will not have advantage. So it specifically states your first melee attack will have advantage. Really straightforward. Really nice class feature, Shadow Step. Really nice. Now, Cloak of Shadows. You're going to obtain this class feature at level 11. And Cloak of Shadows is where you have learned to become one with the shadows. When you are in the area of dim light or darkness, you can use your action to become invisible. Wow, how cool is that? Meaning this, as long as you have your action, bam, you become invisible. As long as you meet the requirements, the area that you're in is dim light or darkness. Bam, you're invisible. Invisible and stealth are two different things. Invisible is much, much, much better than stealth. The only thing that's going to be able to see you is a creature that has true sight, or maybe a magic item that sees everything. So, another thing is you're going to remain invisible until you make an attack, cast a spell, or if you enter an area that is brightly lit. So you can stay invisible till the end of time, as long as you don't make an attack, as long as you don't cast a spell, or as long as you don't go into bright light. Simple as that. Now, at level 18, I'm going to show you something real quick. At level 18, on the baseline monk, you're also going to get empty body. And this is what your base monk features. This also lets you become invisible. So when you hit 18 on a Way of Shadow monk, you're going to get 2 invisibilities. I mean, that's super crazy. I mean, that's just really nice. So the last thing you're going to get at level 17 is Opportunist. An Opportunist is where you can exploit a creature's momentary distraction when it is hit by an attack. So, whenever a creature within 5 feet of you is hit by an attack made by a creature other than yourself, you can then use your reaction, if you have a reaction, and that'll allow you to make a melee attack against that creature, as long as you meet the requirements of the creature being within 5 feet of you, and the trigger to use your reaction is that creature being hit by an attack by a creature other than you. That is really nice. So Opportunist, really strong. So that's the Way of Shadow, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please feel free to leave a comment down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and if you want to try one of these Way of Shadow monks, check out my website at tabletopping.net, and I have over 840 character sheets ready to go, every class, every level, every archetype, levels 1 to 20. Grab one. They're on a nice 3-page PDF format. Just download it, print it out, and go to your game, try it out. Thank you guys again. I appreciate watching, and I'll see you next time.